Game week 9 is done and it's time to start preparation for game week 10. Gabriel went off injured against Liverpool. Is he injured and what should we do about him? And if you need a new midfielder or forward, who should we take a closer look at? Let's have a look. First out, a quick look at my game week 9 score. Started off really well with Henderson and Guardiola, but Gabriel and Mikolenko blanked. Rodgers, Semenyo and Foden blanked in midfield, and Calvert-Lewin and Watkins blanked up top. My captain, Haaland, he only got 6 points. Luckily, I did not use the triple captainship in game week 9, and Bruno did really well. Should maybe have captained him. I talked about it in the team selection video ahead of the game week, but I went Haaland, so his 6 points doubled and became 12. Really frustrating for me having both Smith Rowe and Van Dijk on the bench. I was really close to play them ahead of Semenyo and Mikolenko, but it is what it is, and it's time to start the preparation for the next game week. So this will be my team for game week 10. My game week 10 team, on paper it looks really strong. Gabriel, of course, he is flagged. He went off against Liverpool, and at the moment we're not really sure for how long he is out. For my team, it's not that big of a problem because on my bench I have Mikolenko with a really good fixture against Southampton. So if Gabriel is confirmed to be out, I will just keep him on the bench and play Mikolenko. But if you don't have any decent bench cover for Gabriel, I do believe that it's fine to sell him. He is expensive and Arsenal actually have a couple of tough fixtures coming up. So selling Gabriel, maybe getting in the likes of Guardiola, or maybe you want to downgrade to someone like Ait Nouri, are perfectly fine transfers to do ahead of the game week 10 deadline. But for me, I will probably keep him and save one more transfer. I will use my wildcard in game week 12, and I would love to have saved up a couple of free transfers going into the wildcard in game week 12. New rule that we keep the transfers after spending the wildcard. I do believe that's really precious, so hopefully I can save and have a couple of transfers when I will use my wildcard. Semenyo will be on my bench playing against Manchester City, and Rodgers and Watkins on paper a tough fixture against Spurs, but hopefully Aston Villa can score a couple of goals against them. Hopefully it will be a really good match with a lot of goals. Smith Rowe benched last week. He will start this game week, so I will have Bruno and Smith Rowe playing against each other, so hopefully there will be goals in that game as well. In defense, I do believe that both Van Dijk and Guardiola have really good fixtures, both when it comes to clean sheet potential and attacking returns. A couple of potential captain candidates in this team. I'm not really sure which one is the best, but I will talk more about the captain selection later in the video. But first, let's have a look at the watch list for midfielders and forwards. The watch list for midfielders, this has not changed much since the last video. I have Buonanotte. He is a really big differential. His ownership was 1 last game week, but now it's rising to 2.5, but it's still a really big differential. His expected goal involvement for the last 4 game weeks is 240, and Leicester have decent fixtures going forward as well. So if you want to downgrade to maybe have more funds up top or have another big hitter in midfield, I do believe that Buonanotte is a decent enabler. Garnacho as well, a good option right now. Manchester United have just recently sacked Erik ten Hag, so hopefully Man United can get a new manager bounce, and I do believe that Garnacho will keep playing. He's done well recently, even though his expected goal involvement is only 1.20. He has looked really good and is full of confidence, so he will probably be a decent option going forward as well. 6.2, a little bit more expensive than Buonanotte, but I do believe that he is a viable option if you want to get involved in the Man United attack. The last on this list is Jarrod Bowen. He scored a penalty against Man United on Sunday, and hopefully he can remain their first choice penalty taker. He has been captaining the side, looks full of confidence at the moment, and it shows in the stats as well. the last 4 game weeks, he accumulated an expected goal involvement of 2.88. Still a big differential, only selected by 5.9% of the managers, priced at 7.4. I do believe that Jared Bowen is a really good option going forward. Many good forward options at the moment. In this list I've included Jimenez, Cunha and Wood, and Wood did really well in game week 9, scored a brace. His stats are really not that good, but he's a lethal finisher, so he will probably continue delivering. Decent fixture in game week 10, but after that Nottingham Forest fixtures gets a little bit more tricky. Jimenez, ever since he started playing for Fulham, he has done really well, and he will probably remain as their number 9, and I do believe that he is still a good buy. When it comes to Cunha, their fixtures are really good. He is probably on penalties, and I do believe that we should include a Wolves assets in our team right now. So Cunha is probably the best option. I like him more than Strand Larsen. So getting Cunha in right now is probably a really good transfer. Let me know in the comments down below, who do you think is the best FPL forward option right now? Mbeumo was probably the best captain option last game week. I was close to captaining him, but I went Haaland. In game week 10, he is playing against Fulham. When we take a look at Fulham stats, we can see that they are actually pretty good when it comes to defense. They kept 1 clean sheet and they have only conceded 7 goals. When it comes to big chances conceded, Fulham are really doing well, and they're actually the best team when it comes to conceding chances. Shots on target, 18, which is 10th in the league. When it comes to expected goals conceded, they have 4.84, which is 7th out of the 20 teams. So Fulham looks like a really good fixture on paper, but when we take a close look at the stats, they are actually pretty decent. So I can't really see Brentford scoring a lot of goals against them. So Mbeumo, decent captain pick for game week 10, but I want to take a closer look at a couple of other candidates before making a decision. Haaland, if you own him, he should be considered the 50 million man. He's playing against Bournemouth. They have kept 1 clean sheet, and they have actually only conceded 3 goals in the 4 last game weeks, which is 4th best in the league. Big chances conceded, they have only conceded 8 big chances, which is 7th in the league, and they have conceded 14 shots on target. When we take a look at their expected goals conceded, they are doing really well. 3.88, which is 3rd in the league. So Bournemouth, as with Fulham, they're actually kind of underrated when it comes to their defense. So I'm not really sure that Haaland is the best captain option, but I was kind of surprised seeing those good Bournemouth stats, so I had to take a closer look at their opponents. And as you can see, for the last 4 game weeks, they've actually only had a really tough game against Arsenal, and when we consider that they got a man sent up and played 60 minutes with only 10 men, then those stats maybe are fooling us a bit. So at the moment, Haaland is my preferred captain option, and hopefully he can do well. I will only have him for the next couple of game weeks, and Haaland will probably be sold all my game week 12 wildcard. So hopefully I can catch another Haaland haul before selling him in game week 12. If I were to captain the player who is playing against the weakest opponent, then my captain would be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's playing against Southampton. They have kept 0 clean sheets, 10 goals conceded, 13 big chances conceded, and 23 shots on target. When it comes to expected goals conceded, they are only beaten by Leicester and Ipswich. They're 18th with 10.36. So Everton and Calvert-Lewin probably have the best fixture playing against Southampton, but I'm not really trusting Everton and Calvert-Lewin at the moment. So my captain will probably be Haaland. If you're feeling really punty, Calvert-Lewin might be an outsider for the captaincy, but I will probably go for Haaland. Let me know in the comments down below who will be your captain for game week 10.